Welcome to the program. This is What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi here at Medina Palms in beautiful Watamu, beautiful Kilifi County. And we are so thankful to the management of this incredible place to be giving us the chance to have a conversation with the very man who runs it, the Director and General Manager, Mr. Cheli.
Morning, how are you?
Good, thank you. You have such a beautiful place here.
Thank you, it's very kind of
Incredibly
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You've been managing it since inception?
That's correct, yes. We opened in 2013.
Okay.
And I was also involved during the construction.
Oh.
So it's now approaching the 9th year, basically.
9th year.
Yeah.
So it's like your baby then?
It is one of my babies, yeah. It's the latest baby.
Yes. What's the theme? There's a theme about it.
The theme is very Arabic because, as you know, the Kenya coast was under the Sultanate of Oman for many, many years. So this architecture reflects like the Gede ruins architecture, which is a very strong Arab influence.
Okay.
And so we tried to replicate that in the ethos and the soul of Medina Palms.
Of Medina Palms.
Yeah. So it's very pertinent to this area, all along the coast actually, from Lamu all the way to Zanzibar. Yeah.
This is the theme. What goes into construction of such a place?
There's a lot of planning. There's a lot of, I won't take the credit for the actual architecture and the drawings because I wasn't here at the time of the architectural drawings and the inception. So I'll leave the credit to somebody else.
Whoever did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of planning, but I have to say, building with local materials and using local, workmanship actually made the process a lot easier because for a lot of people who lived in this area, a lot of workers, they knew how to use these materials, especially the wood. All the wood we've used is all hardwood, and the way it is carved, it's all local workmanship. All the buildings are all coral blocks, so obviously they're from this area. So it came up, I have to say, I was very impressed by the speed at which Medina Palms was built. I was here at groundbreaking, and within 18 months, the structure was up.
A year and a half?
Yes.
All of this?
Correct, yes.
That's impressive.
It was impressive. I was impressed. So, having worked in this industry for many, many years and brought up in Kenya and everything, I was impressed by the speed at which it was done. And I have to say 99% done very well. Yeah, there's always a few glitches.
Of course, but we can't, as visitors, we can't see them. All we see is beauty, and it should be a film destination for whomever wants to do film here. But anyway, let's talk about the types of accommodation you have here. I know it's different.
We have different types of accommodation. The smallest room is 100 square meters, and it's a single one-bedroom. And the biggest one is 1,000 square meters, which is a 5-bedroom villa with a private swimming pool and parking and so on. So we cover the full range. The big advantage of Medina, and I think it was extremely important during this COVID year, they offer a lot of space, and they all have kitchens, they all have sitting rooms, all the villas have rooftops. So this gave, at a time where social distancing is one of the words that we've learned to use.
You already had it.
We already had it. So you could social distance within your own room, and have all the facilities there, from the kitchen to the living room to, multiple TVs and plunge pools and private pools. So somebody could actually rent a villa and it'd be like its own home.
He's still okay, and there's no danger. Like, you follow all the COVID-19 protocols, we call it.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, you're actually right. They're very spacious, and the pictures will show that. In terms of staff, what numbers are you working with?
We have approximately 140 staff.
Oh, wow.
They vary according to occupancy, of course,
Okay.
but our permanent number is 140.
Oh, wow.
And there are 2 companies. I won't go into too many sort of corporate details, but there are 2 companies involved. One looks after all the common areas, and the other one deals with the commercial areas, that is the bar, the restaurant, the spa, and the rental plan. So combined, there are 140, of which 86% are from this Kilifi County.
86%?
Yes, at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're very strong on the local front.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, you said spa. You have a spa?
We do have a spa.
Okay.
One of, you know, I would say it's probably one of the best spas in this area. It's an Africology spa. That means that it was, all the training and all the products are Africology products, which come from South Africa. So they're organic products, and all the training was done from South African therapists. So no, it's a wonderful spa. It's on one of the penthouses, which was converted to a spa. So it has a rooftop. There's also a lot of space.
Yeah.
With 4 treatment rooms.
Nice. What other facilities do you have?
So we have a conference center, a very small bespoke conference center. We don't do large numbers, a maximum of 60 delegates for every conference, but it's ideal for corporates. So all, law firms, banks,
Yeah.
and other small companies like directors' meetings.
Yeah.
And it's state of the art, so we offer all the equipment for that sort of conference.
Nice. You were awarded Best Hotel in Kenya a couple of years ago.
Well, that's through the TripAdvisor
Yes.
reviews. Yes, we have consistently been in the top 10. So a few years ago we were number 1, then you go to number 2, number 3. But TripAdvisor works on reviews and what people say on the reviews. It can be sometimes not 100% accurate. Oh yes.
But I thought it's because your clientele are the ones who go in there and give you the recommendations, no?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why doubt the accuracy then?
No, I don't want to doubt the accuracy, but sometimes, a lot of reviews can have different meanings or can be construed in a different way. But nevertheless, we're very happy with what we have achieved.
Is this you being modest?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm reading modest into this. I mean, you were given accolades by your clients. That's something to pat yourself on the back for.
I'm very proud of our ecotourism credentials.
Okay.
Because I think in today's world and today's time with climate change and global warming, it is a very important subject to also address. So we are Gold Ecotourism awarded. So we've been Gold members for several years now. And it's a very, very strict process of assessing.
How does it come about?
It comes about, they look at, first of all, ecotourism is about empowering the local people and the local communities. So employing people from the local community is a big thing. How we treat our waste, what we do with plastic, or what, we've completely trying to avoid plastic, single-use plastic. We've moved to glass bottles. We recycle all our glass bottles. There's a recycling plant in Watamu. So it's a lot of small things, but all add up to a big goal and a big change.
So you carry the award now every year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
So how do you run such an institution with 140 people? How do you ensure excellence in every unit?
You can't ensure excellence.
So what happens then? Because everything seems to be running.
We aspire to ensure it, but in hotels, in hospitality, maintaining a certain level is not easy. It's a day-to-day work and effort, and we're constantly trying to improve, and the world is changing.
Yeah.
And when I first started in this, in hospitality, people's expectations were less than what they are today. Today, tourists, local, international, are very discerning. So they know exactly what they want, and they expect to receive a certain type of service, and they expect to receive it proportionate to what they pay.
Right.
So it's the value for money that people look at achieving.
Yeah.
I think Medina offers value for money.
Right.
I think for what we offer, the quality is very, very good on an international scale, not just a Kenyan scale. So I'm proud of achieving that.
Yeah.
But it's been a phenomenal year. With COVID and what the world has been going through and what Kenya has been going through, because a lot of Kenyans and a lot of domestic travelers, because of the issue of staycations and not being able to travel with all the restrictions, They have discovered Kenya. And many have discovered Watamu, people who had never been to Watamu. And I'm talking Nairobi, Eldoret, Kisumu, and they go, oh my gosh, I'd never been to Watamu. And they discover Watamu, which is a complete gem. Watamu is a beautiful place. It offers so much. One of the most beautiful beaches in Africa. Lots of natural sort of places to visit. I mean, when I say natural, I mean Medina Creek is a beautiful place. It's a totally different ecosystem. Arabuko Sokoke Forest is a park where you can see elephants at a 15-20 minute drive from
in
here.
Watamu?
Just in Gede, opposite the Mombasa Road. So 20-minute drive, you can see elephants.
Oh, wow.
That is phenomenal if you think about it. So you can go whale watching in the morning and watch elephants in the afternoon. And there's a lot of conservation projects in Watamu, like the Total Conservation Projects, and there's a very well-known and renowned snake farm that do also lots of research. It's a bubbling community of lots of businesses and places that enhance the whole area and give it value.
So how come when driving in, you don't feel that vibe? Like the question is, oh, okay, what's good here? What's good here? Like, how do I know what's good here?
To appreciate what's good in Watamu, you've got to stay in Watamu. You've got to stay about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And then you start discovering the places. As I said, Medina Creek is absolutely stunning. And then visiting all these conservation centers. Gede Ruins, which is a village abandoned some 500-600 years ago under very mysterious circumstances. Nobody knows exactly what happened. But it was a city back then. It used to sit on the banks of the Medina Creek, and that's where they used to bring in the dhows. There's a lot of trade because there's proof of trade with China. They found glass from Venice buried in. So it was a real commercial center, so to speak. It was like a port of exchange of commerce for 500, 600, 700 years ago. It's quite remarkable when you think of it. And going there is a wonderful experience, and I recommend it to anybody visiting Watamu. We've spoken about Arabuko Sokoke. The water sports is phenomenal. I mean, kite surfing, one of the best places in the world to kite surf because of the wind conditions and because of the beaches and the sandbanks. And there's certain areas which are absolutely perfect for learners as well.
Okay.
And lots of activities going in Medina Creek, as well.
Okay.
Dhow cruises and water skiing. And then, of course, we must not forget the snorkeling, the coral gardens in the marine park, dolphin watching, whale watching. You can't get bored in Watamu. There's also a vibrant nightlife. So, you do all your activities during the day, and at nighttime you can go to some very good restaurants. We have very, very good quality restaurants in Watamu.
Okay.
And some nice nightclubs. So
here in Watamu?
In Watamu, yes.
Wow. So do you think a daytime tour I would be able to see all of these things?
You should see a lot of them.
Most of them.
Yes, you should be able to see them.
Interesting. I kid you not, it feels very quiet and serene, and but clearly are you involved in the marketing of this town in any way?
Of Watamu?
Yeah.
Yes, we formed an association a few years ago called Wonders of Watamu.
Okay.
And we promote all the best of what Watamu has to offer on social media platforms. And that's gained a lot of traction.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people around the world who access it and read it. I have friends who, while they're sitting in their offices during winter, they go onto on the sites and dream of pristine blue waters and white beaches and, and sunbathing and diving and snorkeling. So it is a little paradise here. I mean, we are totally spoiled.
You have very clean beaches, by the way. I saw that earlier on today. They're different.
Well, we do get two different monsoons, like on the whole coast of East Africa and further down. So you have the southeast monsoon, which is called the Kuzi. The Kuzi brings strong winds, a lot of humidity, but it also brings in some seaweed. So we do get a few months of the year that we have some seaweed, but it's completely natural.
Okay.
And it actually protects the sand and the beaches, and we don't touch it because... No, we don't touch it.
The black stuff on the beach?
It's seaweed, yes. Then, as the monsoon changes and you get the Kaskazi from northeast, and then the beaches just clean up and become sparkling white sand. As I said, probably the best beach in Africa.
Which is how it is now, it's pure white.
We're now in the transition phase between the Kuzi and the Kaskazi.
So you're saying when seaweed checks in, you don't clean it out?
Yes, it is. It's natural. It's natural. And being a marine park, you shouldn't remove it because it's a natural phenomenon, yes.
Wow,
yeah.
So much to learn, eh?
Yes.
So much to learn. So before we take a break, earlier you had spoken about the difference between the tourists of yesteryears and the tourists of now, and how now there's more self-awareness. Now we know what we want to eat, you know, to the calorie intake, to the glutens and not.
Yes.
You know, we want specific things when we visit places like this. What are those differences that you notice?
What I've noticed is that I think it all comes down to access to information. And that is what has changed. And so people today can access information immediately. That's what the internet has brought. So you can do research on a destination and you can know what to find in that destination, what to do and what not to do in that destination. So the tourists of today come prepared. A lot of them are still on a path of discovery.
Okay.
And I've noticed that especially with Kenyans, which makes me very happy because, you know, you have, I feel Kenyan because I've lived here all my life,
yeah.
but you have one of the most beautiful countries in the world.
Yeah.
And it has so much to offer and so much beauty everywhere you look, from the mountains to the game parks to the beaches.
Wildlife.
You should discover it. You should spend time discovering your country and not go elsewhere. Of course, traveling overseas or to other countries is also important for personal growth and knowledge. But spend more time here. That's what I'm saying, is that spend more time discovering your own backyard.
What was the lockdown like for you?
The actual lockdown period was difficult, I think, as it was for everybody. It was very strange, but it did bring, there was opportunities also, and the opportunity was just to sit still. And you know, the mind, when it sits still, and I don't want to say gets bored, because I personally never get bored, but it's being a little bored and sitting still that you become creative. Because creativity does not come if you're busy. So by sitting still, you are creative, and you can think of, what is it that I can do better? And what can we change? And how do we make this place better known? And what marketing changes do we bring? And Watamu just, I was in Watamu in the early 1980s as well, before I left and moved to Nairobi. And it was like going back to the 1980s. All you could see on the beaches were the local fishermen, going out in the dugout canoes, and going back to what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. And that was very interesting as well. It was touching. Yes.
You know, you've spoken about sitting still. I was telling my guys the other day, so they were at the beach, and I said to them, no, go do your thing. I'm okay being alone. Like, it gives you the opportunity to think, reflect, meditate, reinvent yourself.
Absolutely.
But COVID was still too long. As much as that's important, COVID was too many months, even for we who like that. It was too many months.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a short commercial break as we freshen up with your drinks. Thank you so much for providing that.
Thank you.
Then when we come back, we'll speak a bit more now about your background.
Okay.
And maybe touch a bit on your personal life.
With pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so we take a short commercial break now from Medina Palms. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go too far. Welcome back from the break. This is What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi. Thank you for staying tuned to the program. We're at Medina Palms here in Watamu, speaking to the Director and General Manager, Max Cheli. So far, we have covered your beautiful hotel and beautiful Watamu as well. Now, where did all this start for you?
Where did it all start for
Yes.
me? So going back into my past, well, it goes back a long time.
We have time, Max. We have time.
I first moved to Kenya in 1963.
Independence year.
Yes, before independence,
Oh.
March. So of course I came with my parents because I was very little.
Okay.
And so grew up on a coffee farm, then on a mixed farm in Njoro, which is outside Nakuru, then moved to Laikipia. And then I attended schools, primary school in Nakuru.
Oh.
So I feel very much sort of part of the highland life. And thereafter I moved back to Italy for my secondary education because I am Italian.
Okay.
And moved back to Kenya. I couldn't stay away. You know, in Italy we have what we call the sickness of Africa, Mal d'Africa. The sickness of Africa is once you've spent time here and you move away, something draws you back to Africa.
Oh.
And it's the colors, it's the people mostly
Yeah.
is what draws you back.
Yeah.
It's something that stays in you,
Yeah.
in your blood, in your life. So I had to come back. I was 22 years old, so I came back and started working in Naivasha. I was food and beverage manager of a hotel back then used to be called Safariland Lodge.
Okay.
I was then called to Watamu actually in the 1980s to open one of the first hotels of Watamu, which is called Blue Bay.
Okay.
I was here for 10 years. I then started up my own company. Actually, I joined my brother and his wife,
Yeah.
company called Kelly and Peacock. And together with my brother and his wife, we were involved in tourism, safaris, lodges, luxury camps. So I did that for many years. I then moved to Zanzibar for 7 years. And that's where my Swahili got really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zanzibar will do that to you.
And then moved back here, and that's when they asked me to get involved with Medina Palms. So in a nutshell, that's my past.
Okay, so let's start breaking the knot.
Yeah.
When you were involved with your brother and his wife setting up lodges, could you give us examples of those?
Well, the Kelly and Peacock camps, there was the first one was in Amboseli. It's called Tortillas Camp. And then it moved on to Meru National Park, Elsa's copy. And my brother already had a camp in the Mara called Elephant Pepper. And then he moved on to Shaba and built another camp there. And we had our headquarters in Nairobi at Wilson Airport. So it was a very interesting chapter of my life. It was very dynamic. You're moving around everywhere all the time, not sitting in one place. But we did start off what was one, I don't say the only one, but what was one of the luxury tented camp circuits. Starting from the early 90s going all the way now. And then the company now has been was sold and I exited and my brothers also exited. So it's now part of another international chain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So was it different, luxury then, luxury now?
We were sort of pioneers, I think, together with the Governor's Camp. I don't know if you remember Governor's Camps, but in what was luxury tented camp experience. So where you'd sleep in a tent, but you had all the luxury facilities from, running showers, hot and cold water, flushing toilets, which was something that was not sort of common in the old tented camps.
Yeah.
And giving that experience of being in the bush, sleeping under a tent, which is like no other, because you hear all the noises of the African night in the bushes and the animals, but being able to have a little bit of luxury. What they've coined the word now as glamping, which is sort of glamorous camping. Yeah.
Okay.
So Yeah, it was an interesting period. And now, of course, that market has developed and is becoming even more refined. And there's lots of luxury tented camps scattered all over Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda, and Zimbabwe, and etc. So it's, you know, it has suffered a little bit with COVID because you work mostly with international tourism. But I am very optimistic, and I'm confident that when it comes back, it will come back with a bang.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It's very strong.
Very strong.
I like that. So did you study hospitality?
No, I actually studied chemistry, so it's a totally different subject. But while I was studying, I was working in hotels. So just to pay for my studies and to get some pocket money. So from the age of 15, I've been working in hotels.
15?
15, yes.
1-5?
Yeah, 1-5.
What were you doing?
Well, you work as a barman, you work as a storekeeper, as a receptionist, as a night auditor. It's the whole, all the departments.
Here in Kenya?
No, that was in Italy.
In Italy?
Yes.
So which part of Italy do you hail from?
Bologna.
So like
that's
spaghetti
north.
bolognese?
Absolutely. That's the
really?
most famous dish from Bologna.
Is it?
Yes.
I just
Spaghetti bolognese. But the food in Bologna is fantastic. It's not only spaghetti bolognese,
Okay.
it's everything.
I think
Very
it's
good.
Italy in general. Like
Yes.
you guys, and food is a huge part of the culture.
Huge part of the culture. Yes. Yeah.
So it was one of the epicenters of COVID actually last year.
It started off in Milano and Lombardy and Bergamo. I think after Wuhan was the most affected area. And they were hit extremely hard. And they didn't know how to deal with it, of course. So yes, Italy has been through tough times, but I think they're doing fairly well at the moment. Yeah.
So we would have, would see the news how they got off the balconies and they were singing and the
Yes.
national anthem.
Yes.
I mean, you're like, look at that sort of unity, just everybody trying to survive.
It did bring everybody together.
Yes,
Very much.
yes.
Yeah.
And how would you describe your country compared to Kenya? Like, what are the pros for both countries? You've already told me for Kenya. Let's hear for Italy.
For me, the two most beautiful countries in the world, without a doubt. Yeah, from the countries that I've visited. Italy, again, it's the people. The people always play a huge role in the beauty of a country.
That's true.
The Italians are friendly, they're open,
Yeah.
they're accommodating, they're embracing, they have a zest for life, they enjoy good food, good wine, company, they're good at football. Now we have also fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
He's brought up in Italy, although he's not Italian originally. So that's Italy. And Kenya is, in a way, very similar because it comes down to the people. The warmth of the Kenyans, how embracing they are, how welcoming they are, how the soul is good. You know, the soul is good. And that's what I love about Kenya.
Yeah. So you're clearly not leaving Watamu, especially anytime soon.
I don't
this
think
is
so.
home?
This is home now.
This is home.
Yes.
You're raising your family here?
Well, my kids are all grown up and moved on, but
Nice.
they grew up in Kenya, of course,
As well.
and a lot of time in Watamu.
Ah, nice. Okay, so in your career, so you've had most of your experience here in Kenya,
Yes.
right? And school in, where do you call it, in Italy, and now Kenya. So what have you seen any, have you had to jump through some hoops or seen any challenges that you had to, because somebody listening to your story and looking at you now just sees, you know, one straight beautiful line. You know, I started working at 15. That's a very strange concept for us.
Yeah.
But what are those challenges you've had to overcome?
There's always challenges in life, and we all face them. Important is that you keep you keep the goal very well focused, and you know where you want to get to, and you jump through those hoops and you sort the problems as they come. Kenya has, of course, you know, has many challenges and a lot of bureaucracy, and you need to get through a lot of situations to be able to achieve what you want, but ultimately you get there. It's about grit, it's about perseverance, it's about knowing exactly what you want to do, it's about being honest, it's having integrity, And I think those things, ultimately, they are recognized and respected, of course, everywhere in the world, and of course in Kenya. So when you have a certain, when people respect you, then you achieve the goals quicker.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
and it has to be reciprocal.
Yes, it's two-way. It's two-way. So now that your life is settled here, how would your staff describe you?
You should ask the staff.
We will. We plan to. But let's hear what you think they describe you.
I've looked after staff, and I don't like to come from a place above. I always work as a team, and I'm part of the staff. You know, I'm not the employer, and I think that's very important. And when there's hard times, we go through the hard times together, and when there are good times, we share the good times together. And I think my staff respect me, and they, you know, a lot of them refer to me as our Baba. So.
Okay, really? That's pretty cool.
So I give a lot of advice, and I speak a lot. I talk to them a lot, and when there's an issue, we sit down and we discuss it. And it's always the best way to achieve a result.
Yeah. So you're very approachable.
Absolutely. Open door.
Open door.
Open office.
Yeah. So in running such a successful institution, what are those pillars you've put in place towards the success of this place?
Hard work and integrity. There has to be integrity. And honesty across the board.
Yeah.
And it pays back.
Yeah.
It pays back.
Yeah. And how do you deal with competition?
What competition?
I like that. I like that. You are above the rest, basically.
No, we're very humble. We're not above the rest, but we have completely different products. That's why, you know, what competition? I mean, there is no other place that offers what Medina offers at the same sort of level. And again, I come back to, you know, our units, our rooms, our villas, our apartments.
Yes.
Because they're all privately owned, and so they're not hotel rooms. And so this formula has worked very, very well. And I think all our owners who are partners in Medina Palms, they also appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay.
And we've managed to keep the standards, you know, pretty high and consistent, notwithstanding all the problems that you face every month. But we've managed to do that, and I think that's what, you know, during the hard times, if you're able to keep going and surviving, when the good times come, you're in a very strong position.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you keep innovating?
It's a very good question.
Okay. Okay.
I can't afford to get bored, so I should try and get a bit more bored so I can be more innovative. But it's just looking at, you know, looking at the world, looking at what other places do who are ahead of us, as far as certain. You know, we're moving into a very digital world, and today you can order your Watamu sunrise mocktail, you know, through the phone. And so that sort of innovation, what COVID brought also is innovation, didn't it? Because of the QR codes, and you scan the codes and you place your order, and it's delivered to your room or to the pool, and you can even say where you're sitting. You know, so those are the things that are changing. It's moving very much. Innovation is very digital based. It's, you know, with the bookings, with how you address customers' questions. It's all online. It's all through social media. It's through these, you know, big companies that have come onto Kenyan scene, like Airbnb. So things are moving very fast. Yeah, very fast.
That's true.
You know, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I refer to myself as a BBC, so born before computers. So it takes me a bit longer to get up to the digital. Yeah. But I try.
You try.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of, young staff who assist me.
Who are with it so they can
Oh,
hold
absolutely.
your hand.
And my kids, you know, they can whiz around on
as well.
phones very quickly.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I saw you reply to feedback yourself. I was looking through some sites, some booking sites, and I saw you. Oh, it's your secretary who does that.
No, I do it. I do it. It's time consuming. I try and do it as fast and accurate as I can.
So you do it yourself?
I do it myself.
Wow.
Especially if it's something that I feel that I should address.
Right.
Yeah, so I do it. Yeah.
That's amazing. So you like to have that one-on-one with your clients?
Yes, as much as I can.
Yeah.
It's not always possible.
Yeah. And how do you deal with negative feedback? Feedback that's not pleasant?
It's not easy. That's also a difficult question for me to answer because sometimes I do feel sometimes that some of negative comments are not justified, but in this industry we've learnt that the customer is always right. So you try and understand what his expectations were and where we fell short, and then you try and rectify that, and so that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But in any business, there's always going to be somebody who has a slightly different opinion or a slightly different expectation.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what's your next? What's your next adventure? What's your next thing?
Let's wait till COVID is over and then we'll talk about our next plans.
What's your next dream?
No, it would be wonderful to carry on building projects, starting with you know, other ideas and different concepts. And you know, Medina Palms was very successful, is very successful. But would I replicate this exactly as it is? No, because it's already been done.
It's there.
So you need to move to a next stage and do something that offers different sides to it.
Right.
And yeah, I have many ideas.
Waiting for post-COVID.
Yes.
I see. So do you still go back to, what place is this? Joro.
I've been back a few times.
Ah.
Yes, which was very, very touching and wonderful experience.
Yeah.
And it's changed a lot, of course. Yes.
So you're still home?
It does feel like home, you know, it really does. When you're there and the smells, the colors, the vegetation, it does feel like
the
home.
Memories.
But you know, your memories are where you grow up.
It's true.
You know, so
it's
the
true.
tree you climbed, the river you crossed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember, this is where I fell.
Yes.
Okay. Are you involved in any community projects around Watamu?
We have a CSR program, corporate social responsibility. So we do every year support different projects. So, you know, it could be the orphanage one year, or we try and be more consistent, and the schools, the primary schools, we provide them with, you know, IT expertise, and we've got a lot of very generous donors who one year would, you know, donate some laptops and so on. Otherwise, it's just basic conservation like mangrove planting in Meader Creek. So we get involved with that. So this is actually part of the ecotourism circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. So you plant mangroves?
Yes, yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts, any final words as we wind up?
Well, what I'd say is that for those who haven't been to Watamu, you have to visit. It's a gem of East Africa. Visit Watamu and you'll discover all the beauty that it has.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you've been here before, come back.
Come back, we need you.
Yes.
Okay, well, Max Kelly, I said it right? Thank you so much for hosting us today.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful thing going on here. Your story is beautiful as well.
Thank you.
And we hope the best for you.
Thank you. That's very
forward,
kind of you.
We hope the best for you.
We pray.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. And to you watching, thank you for making the time to join us from Medina Palms here in Watamu, Kilifi County. Until next week, stay safe. Ciao.